Hello everybody. I wanted to do another Astride chat, cause it's just a nice little game. Now, first, I want to show the glitch that I'm having. I reported it, and was told by a moderator, oh, this is a known thing, it's because of this. But that's not the problem I'm having. So I probably will post again, letting him know that in the new update, I'm still having this issue. But I try to host a server, and I get some of these messages. Usually it says, failed to authenticate as guest, and this time it worked. Okay, going in game. Well, you saw it up when I... You saw that it said failed to authenticate as guest. Normally it doesn't work, but I guess if we're getting in, we'll just get in. I was going to go ahead and mess around with the horse creator a little bit, but I guess we're not doing that, and that's fine. So, Astride. There was just an update today. We are in version 0.319, I believe. So, some changes have been made, and I've had access to some of the changes earlier than others because I have the Patreon testing version. So, am I gonna get to load in? Am I allowed to load in? May I please? Pretty please? We might not get in. Well, I'll leave this going for a little bit just to see. So one of the things they added was the the ability for the camera to follow the player / horse, and I'll show exactly what that means, but it basically means that the camera is... This isn't going to load. The camera will turn when you turn, which is very good, but... I will talk a little bit about my problems with the camera control right now. And I know that this is early alpha, maybe not even alpha yet. They did say when they released their early access that it was pre-alpha, wasn't even alpha yet. I don't know what they're considering this at this point. This is not going to load. Okay, well, that's good to show what problem I'm having. So I'm going to just hard stop it. Sorry, I'm having really bad allergies today. I apologize for sniffling in your ear. I thought I was doing better, but I had to turn off my fans so that there wasn't just this loud buzzing in the microphone, and that might make me worse because of the lack of airflow. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to host one more time. If it takes too long, then I'm going to go ahead and just go. But I have some problems with the camera controls, and I know that this is really early in development. Arguably too early for them to be charging what they're charging on Steam, but I understand that wasn't necessarily fully in their control, but I do want it to be said. I won't get into that, but see, failed to authenticate as guest. So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to go ahead and just jump in. Because the single player works. I have not had any trouble with the single player. It's just when I go to host a server. Now, weirdly, it seems to just be me. I don't know what's wrong with me. And sometimes I can. Sometimes it works. But my family all have been able to host server. Well, all. My mom has been able to. Now, they're on a different internet, so maybe it's their internet. I don't know, but I just 99% of the time, I haven't actually done the math on it, but most of the time, I am unable to host a server. More often than not. Okay. Oh, I do want to show one of the fixes that they did. Now, okay, if you get nauseated watching someone walk around in first person, this is your warning to not watch. But if you don't, I want you to notice... aside from my mouse being a little jerky, this is actually really smooth. So I don't know what they did, but the first person, when you're off the horse, is way better. like major props. I don't know what was changed. I couldn't tell exactly in the log, in the changes notes, in the patch notes, what they changed. But look at that. Ooh, it is smooth as butter. All right. Hi, Bandit. How's my boy? Oh. How are your teeth looking? Good, healthy teeth. That's good. Okay. So now I will show you how the new camera works. Oh, yeah, so what I was going to say is I know that this is very early in development, and things are subject to change. However, I feel like really getting the camera down is really important. Obviously, the gameplay and stuff is all really important, but I feel like getting proper camera controls is a really easy thing to do that will greatly improve everybody's experience. And now I say easy being someone who has not made a video game technically. I have messed around in Unity. This game is made in Unity, and it's been a while since I did it, but I actually made a really good camera control system, following a tutorial and then kind of taking that and building off of it myself. With my very limited knowledge, I made a really good camera control system, and it was so nice, and I wish I could recreate that. What just happened there? I would press the arrow and it kind of felt like it just didn't turn. So I am still manually controlling the camera, and you don't click to move the camera. In fact, you click to not move the camera. So I'm holding down right click right now. Now I've lifted my mouse up off the mouse pad, because if I hold it on the mouse pad, it is really hard for me to keep my hand still. So, it's... Oh, can I fight my... Ugh. Yeah, so I dislike that you activate the camera follow by holding right click. I again have my mouse up above the mouse pad, but that's really hard to do. So like if I want to try to align this, and then I lifted my mouse and it moved it. So that means I have to try to hold it right there, which is not good for my filming purposes, because I like to film like relaxing rides on... Oh, and see, I lifted my mouse and it moved it immediately. So yeah, I don't like that all the time. If you move your mouse, it moves the camera. I don't think that's a very good system. A lot of games do it, and it is bad. It makes me nauseated because it makes it really hard to not move it, because I have hand twitches. So, if I want the camera to stay still, that is very difficult for me. So I am not a fan of this system, and I think it would be really easy to just reverse it of what they have it, where, you know, you hold right click and then that happens. I think it would be pretty easy. See, when I lift my mouse, that happens, but if I keep my mouse on, then I can't hold my hand still. I have these like tremors and twitches and tics, like, not diagnosed with Tourette's, but boy do I have tics that are not fun, in addition to just muscle twitches that are like unrelated to tics. I have problems. Oh, see, there, I was trying to hold the camera still and I just jerked. Which is just, it's very unpleasant, see? So, yeah, I try to make nice, smooth camera motions, but it's not easy. So yeah, my ideal would be if you right click, then you hold right click, then it moves the camera. Now, all that said, okay, so I've lifted my mouse. No. Hold on. Well, no, see, there's no way to do it. I'd have to leave my mouse. I have to take my hand off the mouse. Okay, so my hand is off the mouse, and I've activated the follow by pressing C. So if you press C, it activates the follow. But, okay, I'm going to try to get in the... Okay. Well, that's not exactly where I put it, but yeah. So I can try to line it up and take my hand completely off the mouse, to do this, and then deactivate it, and then. Oh, I guess that would be a better way to do it, actually, is to try to just aim the horse and then do it. That probably is better. But still, just for the sake of not making everybody nauseous, it is much better. And see, every time I, like, take my hand off my mouse, every time I take my mouse off the mouse pad to try to, like, adjust my mouse so I'm not going over the edge of the mouse pad, it's going to do that jerk. Okay? So, like, if I'm trying to turn the camera, it's going to jerk every time because of that. So it's just, to me, it is a much better system to not have the camera movement 100% of the time linked to the movement of the mouse. Let me double check that I'm recording, because that would be very annoying if I'm not. I am. Okay. Oh, and see, then this happens. Whoa. Whoa. That's new. I haven't done that. I think they did say something about they changed, like, how the camera moves. Alright. So, that's my rant about the camera. So, the fix is make it where you... And see, the thing is, it says right here, because this used to be how it was, is you hold right-click to rotate the camera. And they said that they're going to change that instruction, but I would rather they change the controls. Let's do... Is that not working? No. So, there's the... Okay. I don't remember if I knew that this was a thing in the last video, but you can do the pathfinding, and it's very nice. So, here's my view. I like the horse aisle controls, okay? How horse aisle works. I could get in horse aisle and show. Could. How bad would that be? I could. So how horse aisle works is when you're in third person. Okay, well, firstly, there's two different versions of the controls scheme in horse aisle. When you go into your settings, horse aisle 3 to specify. When you go into your settings and you check mark classic third person, how it works is when you're in third person, the camera does not move when you move the mouse. It only moves if you hold right click, and that makes it really nice. Now, another really cool feature of horse aisle is that when you zoom in, when you do the scroll wheel, then it moves to first person, and the control scheme changes, and your character, I mean, then it basically is, you know, it's this. So you do the scroll wheel and you zoom out and you can see yourself and the horse, and it has really good third person controls. Or you zoom in and it works basically like any other first person game. So that's just really nice to me. Oh, also I learned you can do this. I don't know how I didn't know that you could do that. You do have to hold it down, which is not very good. There needs to be a toggle for it. I understand, like, the point of holding it down might be because when you're doing that in real life, you have to retain tight control of the horse, so that's kind of the equivalent. But this isn't a real horse, and people with disabilities are going to play this, so it needs to be accessible. So having to hold down a button the entire time is bad. Oh, speaking of, quick tangent, I hate horse games where you have to hold down a button to go forward the entire time. That sucks, because I need to be able to rest my fingers. One of the reasons I like horse games in general is because, see, right now, my hands are not on the mouse or the keyboard, because I don't need them to be, because the horse is going on its own, and I don't have to tell it to go until I need it to change something. I love that about most horse games. I've been playing some Roblox horse games lately, and I understand Roblox has its own control scheme, so that it might be hard to implement a horse control scheme, but a lot of the Roblox horse games that I've tried, you have to hold down forward to go forward, and I do not like that. Thankfully, Wild Horse Islands and a few of the other games that I've been playing don't have it that way. They have it more the classic you press forward once and the horse goes, and then, you know, you can speed up or slow down. So that's good. But a lot of the games don't have that, and it's very frustrating for me as someone who, my fingers can get fatigued or twitch, and it's just really difficult to have to hold down a button. So that's another reason why I really like this pathfinding feature, is my hands are not on the keyboard or anything right now, and I can just ride my horse, and that's so relaxing and nice. Really, I think this game could truly be the game that takes takes the place of a lot of these other games that I'm playing that just are lacking. What the world was that sound? I think this could take the place of a lot of games that are just lacking certain elements that I really need. Because like I mentioned, Horse Isle, I love a lot of aspects of Horse Isle 3. I despise a lot of aspects of it. One of the things that I'm really struggling with right now is that horses age and die whether you get on or not. That sucks. And because I've been playing for so long, I have a lot of horses that are about to get to the age where they could die anytime. And that's very saddening and frustrating, because then I have to decide, do I want to immortalize them? Do I want to sell them? And it's just a lot of really tough decisions that I am forced into on a regular basis on that game, whether I get on or not. So the good thing about this game, allegedly, and this has just been said in the Discord, and things are of course up for change, are potentially going to be changed. I highly doubt that this would be changed, but with this game, I believe how it will work is, sorry, I had a bit of a hiccup, is time is not going to pass if you do not get on. And that is lovely. So even though horses are going to age and die, they won't do so. Sorry, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. My apologies. They won't do so. They won't grow old and die without your consent. If you don't get on, they will not age. So that is great, because then I can play this as much or as little as I am able and want to, and not worry about my horses just vanishing after a certain period of time if I don't get on. So, you know, that's one thing. And this game's going to have breeding, so this game I'm hoping will be able to take the place of Horse Isle in some ways. In some ways it just won't. There's not going to be zebras and donkeys, and I love my zebras and donkeys. I don't know, maybe a DLC will add donkeys. Probably won't add zebras, and I wouldn't blame them if they didn't. But maybe a DLC eventually will add donkeys, and I would be absolutely thrilled about that. But for now, Astride is not going to replace Horse Isle in the zebra and donkey arena for the foreseeable future or ever. But overall, this could scratch my itch of needing to have breeding projects and, you know, improve upon the horses and breed cool colors and just, you know, make cool things. This might be able to replace that to a degree where I can still play Horse Isle, but not have that be the only game where I can do these things. So yeah, I hope that they make the control scheme a bit closer to Horse Isle 3, because that is the perfect control scheme, in my opinion. As far as camera controls. Horse controls and stuff, that's different. Well, you know, let's talk about horse controls. Horse Isle 3, again, talking about Horse Isle 3, not the other games. I have played the other games. I played Horse Isle 1 the year it came out. There's some interesting stories to tell. Anyways, so the control scheme for Horse Isle 3 is actually pretty good, in my opinion, as far as the horse controls. Player controls are different and all. Actually, I do really kind of like the third-person player controls for that, but let's talk horse. So, how Horse Isle 3 works it's good and bad. Horse Isle 3 has kind of a similar system to Astride in some ways. but what it does is there's not a changing of gaits. It's if you speed up, you're gonna go. Okay, so Star Stable. There are a set number of gates, and all of those gates go a set speed. All right. That is not how Astride or Horse Isle 3 works, and I like Astride and Horse Isle 3 much better than Star Stable in that way, because Horse Isle 3 has it where if you start out on a walk, you could do a slow walk and you can slowly speed up to a faster walk and a faster walk till eventually you get to a trot. And it's all the same controls, you just hold down the W or the S, or the shift, S and shift slow down in Horse Isle 3. And there's no button to change trots. It's just when you get to a certain speed, it's going to transition into a trot. And then you can do slow trot, faster trot, faster trot, faster trot, until you get to the gallop. I always get the faster gates confused. But yeah, so then you get... So the Horse Isle 3, the way it is there are set gates at certain speeds. And then it transitions into that gate. But there are various speeds within the gate. And that's what I like, is that you can go a really slow walk, a really fast walk, a really slow trot, a really fast trot, or anywhere in between. I really like that. And Astride does that too, but Astride does it better. Now, I dislike how you control the speed and everything. I hope that that is adjusted in the future. It's fine. It's just, I think that there's a lot of room for improvement. But what Astride does is, all right, let's slow down. I can't show you what keys I'm pressing, but I'm holding W. I pressed it very lightly, and now we're going at a very awkward, slow walk. I tap it again, or you could hold it down. You could tap it or hold it down. I'm just tapping it to do it very slowly. And now we're going a little faster. Tap it again, a little faster. Tap it again, a little faster. Tap it again, a little faster. Now I'm going to hold it down so we go full speed. And see, there's the full speed walk. And then I can tap the S to slow down. So I'm just tapping it multiple times to slow down, to show. And then I can hold it down and we can come to a stop. Okay? Now let's do that again. I'm holding W, so we're going to go the fastest walk. We're going to go fastest walk. So this is, I'm tapping W. It cannot go any faster than this at a walk. I like that because in Horse Isle, you can accidentally switch between gates and it makes it very difficult. So I really like this, where when you're in that gate, you cannot get out of that gate other than to like stop. Unless you do something else. Now, again, I kind of dislike the way the controls work to switch between gates, but I do like that you have to press a button to switch between gates. So right now, I'm going to hold W, and then I'm going to tap Shift, and now we're trotting. And I love that. And then same as the walk, if I tap the W, oh, okay, well, we went to a walk. Okay. I do want to go a bit slower. Okay, well, it's hard to slow down, but go trot. But I can go to a really fast trot. There. So that's the fastest trot. Or I could go a really slow trot. I do wish it were a bit clearer about when you're going to slow down into a walk. Though, potentially, you know, once this game's a bit more polished, it might be pretty easy to just tell once you've ridden a lot to be able to just tell what the slowest type of trot is, and walk and all that. Yeah, see, I accidentally did a... Okay, but still. So I like that you can't go faster, you can't go into a gate faster, without pressing an extra button. So now I could do the canter. Oh yeah, so the gallop is the super fast one, and the canter is the... Is that right? Okay. I don't know. I don't know all the horse gates. I apologize. I'm a horse video game person. I am not a real life horse person. I apologize. So this is a very slow canter, and you can actually go really slow with it. Ooh, that's really slow. Man, why doesn't it ever go to a trot? Okay. And then you can go really, really fast. Whee! Let's go to a trot. There we go. Alrighty. So I like that. I like kind of it's kind of a combination of Star Stable and Horse Isle of there are set gates, like in Star Stable, but like Horse Isle, there are different speeds within the gate, and so that is really nice. I like being able to have that flexibility. Now, here's something I suggested in a live stream, and I will probably suggest again if it doesn't seem like it was noticed, but I want an indicator for what speed you're going, and see, that might also help with knowing if you're about to slow down into the gate below. I wanted to see what the camera... Is that a bird? Oh, it's a horse. There was a horse on that log, so that's for the collectibles. Okay. So I want an indicator that tells you what speed you're going. I think that'll really help people for drill teams and trail rides, so people know that they're going the same speed. That said, doing some testing with my family, I am fairly certain that even if you're all going the same speed right now, some people are going to go faster than others because of server lag and stuff. So there is that. But it still would be really good if people could match speeds without having to go like the top speed or something. Especially for like dressage, drill teams, what have you. Star Stable version of dressage. So that is my other suggestion. But I do like how the gates work of having multiple speeds within the gate and having to press a button to go to the next speed up. I do wish that you didn't have to hold down W and tap shift to do it. I wish that it was one button instead of two. But hopefully that will be fixed in the future. Also, hopefully they fix the controller scheme, because right now the same thing that controls the speed controls the turning, and that's really not ideal. What else? Well, the other thing is I hope that the lighting gets fixed somewhat soon, because this is the brights are just so bright and flat. Things are just way too bright and way too flat. It strains my eyes. The brightness and the darkness, the darkness is really, really dark, and so it just flattens the whole thing and it strains my eyes. And it's really hard to explain, but it is troubling. And the more that I play, at one time, so right now my eyes are starting to have trouble. I kind of mentioned this in the Discord of I've got multiple visual and physical disabilities that make playing certain games really difficult for me, because I can get migraines from from both the lighting of video games, but also the movement of the video games. Minecraft tends to give me the worst migraines if I play too much in a certain way, which is very frustrating because I do really like Minecraft, but I can only do it so much. And then also Minecraft has things with the controls, the way that Minecraft is controlled, it really strains my hand. And see, Minecraft's another one of those games where you always have to press forward in order to go forward, even if you're riding a horse or something. Even if you're in a boat. Now, a mod, Quark, adds the auto run, which is really nice, but Quark is such a huge mod, and I haven't... If anyone knows of any mods that adds an auto run feature, please let me know, because Quark is a huge mod. It adds so much, and I really try to keep my mod packs small, and that just makes such a huge mod pack that it really causes issues depending on the mod pack that I'm doing. It adds a lot of really nice things besides just the auto run, but that is kind of a huge mod for having just one or two things that I need. And a lot of the other the other additions it adds, this is not related to Astride at all, but some of the other additions Quark adds, there are individual mods that do it, but not the auto run for the most recent versions. As far as I've seen, I haven't checked recently. So, yeah, let me know if you know of an auto run mod, because again, the reason I brought this up is Minecraft is one of those games where you have to hold down the W to go forward. If you're riding a horse, even if you're in a boat, with a sail, with the small ships mod, which is a really lovely mod. I haven't played with it in a long time, but that's a really lovely mod. And if you have your sail up, you can go like faster and stuff, but you still, I think, have to press forward, and it's a problem for my hands. So yeah, all that to say, I have various visual, auditory, and physical disabilities that make certain games very difficult for me. So I do apologize if I seemed a little brusque or pushy or picky in the Discord or in these videos that I'm making. It's just that for these things, accessibility is really important, not just for me, but for other people that want to play this. Because here's the thing. I can't have a horse. I can't ride a horse. I'm allergic to horses, for one, so I could just, like, die. Even if all my other issues weren't an issue, I could just, like, have an anaphylactic episode. I'm not sure my allergy to horses is that bad, but I haven't been around horses in a long time, so I'm not sure. But I did test as very allergic to horses when I got an allergy test a while back. And right now my allergies are acting up, so even thinking about that is making me sniffle. I have such bad allergies. I have an EpiPen, and it's a whole big thing. I'm allergic to dogs, cats, everything. Every single type of tree, just everything. So, like, I can even barely go outside. So, like, I'm allergic to horses. And even if I weren't allergic to horses, like I say, I have disabilities in my hands and my back and just, like, everything. And not to say that stops everybody from interacting with horses. There are lots of people that do. But for me personally, that would just be extremely difficult, especially with, I won't go into it, but I have a disability that just makes it hard to just leave the house at all. So that combined with the things that would make it difficult to interact with a horse, plus the allergies and all of that, I probably won't ever touch a horse ever again. We had horses for a little bit when I was younger and I wasn't as disabled or allergic. My allergies hadn't really taken hold, and they've gotten worse as I've gotten older. That was 20 years ago, so I'm over 30 years old, in case people wanted to know. And I'm crying, I'm sorry. It's just I will probably never be able to interact with a real horse ever again. I didn't mean to get emotional, I'm sorry. But all that to say, there's so many people like me, and not just me, this isn't just about me. But a lot of people are in the same position as I am, where either, like, money-wise, they just can't have a horse, physically they can't have a horse, and by have a horse, I don't necessarily mean, like, actually have a horse. I know you can do lots of things without actually owning a horse, but yeah, there's just lots of people who love horses, but for whatever reason, they just can't be with horses, like myself, but not just myself. And for a lot of those people, they're going to have similar disabilities to me, or their own, that maybe they need completely different types of accessibility options, and that's perfectly fine too. The options are I wish the camera didn't have a collision box, or what's it called? I've forgotten. There's a word for it, but I wish the camera wasn't bumping into stuff and moving. What was it? When I was talking about Ranch of Rivershine, I said the word. I can't remember it. But anyways, so there's just lots of us who love horses, or just animals in general. I gotta be honest, horses are not actually my favorite animal, but horse games really scratch a particular itch. And I do love horses, don't get me wrong. I love horses, it's just I love so many types of animals. But horse games just really scratch a particular itch as far as animals go. And so for a lot of us, we're going to have disabilities that are going to prevent us from being able to do certain control schemes or camera controls or something that are the same thing that's preventing us from actually interacting with real horses. Like tremors, like I got these tremors in my hands that make controlling certain video games really difficult. I say tremors, I don't know that that's the right word but either way, my hands have twitches and ticks and my tremors and just problems. And so that makes certain control schemes, oh goodness, my voice cracked. That makes certain control schemes really difficult. And then my hands get really fatigued too. So again, like having to hold down the W or like to do do it right now. To have to hold down the control to do this, that is really going to fatigue my hand. The good thing is that it's not necessarily, why did I say necessarily? It's not necessary to play, so that's good at least. But yeah, having to hold down buttons for too long will cause fatigue in my hands. And like I said, different people are going to need different accessibility options. I'm just trying to voice my own, and I also know that I'm not the only person who will need these types of accessibility options. So I hope that anyone who needs different types will also voice them, because too often when games are made, accessibility is secondary. And the problem with that, and I understand you need to prioritize certain things in the development process. I understand that. But there's been a lot of games, and I can't really think of any right now because my allergies have just wiped my brain today, I swear. I'm so, and I took a Benadryl, so I'm so tired, and I'm just, that was earlier. And then I worked really hard cleaning my animal cages. I have, my birds, and that's pretty much the only type of animal I can have. I can't have dogs or cats. I can't have anything with fur anymore, which, again, is why ow, slapped my own hand. That's why I like these types of games, so that I can play with animals that I'm allergic to. What was I saying? What was I saying? What was I saying? It's a good question. Tremors in my hands, it was unrelated to me. Oh, yeah, so games, I've seen a lot of games in the last, 5-10 years that have come out where they didn't take accessibility into account at all for the development process, and then at the end they try to tack on accessibility options, which, it's good that they thought of it eventually, but for a lot of these things, if you don't integrate it from the ground up, it's going to be really hard, if not impossible, to make it truly accessible for certain things. There are some things that are easier than others to implement, but for certain things, you might just not be able to make it accessible. And now there's a whole argument of does everything need to be accessible to everyone? And the answer to that is that that's kind of impossible to make things accessible to everyone. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try as much as possible for, especially with things that are really not that complicated, like changing the camera controls in Unity. Like I said, I have messed around with that myself. I've watched a few tutorials about that, because that camera controls are something that really can make or break a game for me. There are some games that I just cannot play because the camera controls just, they either fatigue my hand or they give me migraines, all sorts of things. So that's just something that is so easy in the grand scheme of things. I'm not saying that any part of coding is easy, but as far as, it's easier than some things. It's easier than putting an inventory system, which is something that they're going to be doing pretty soon, So that's just something that I think should be done as soon as possible, not in Astride, just in general, to try to make the game accessible. So I just hope that more people will speak up about what they need, and I hope that the team will listen. I want this to be the game, because it has so many elements in it that I need that I would like in a horse game. It combines a lot of the things that I like in existing horse games. It adds a few elements that don't exist yet in a horse game. I don't know how long I've been recording. Probably filling up my computer. But I would really like for this to be a game that not only can I play by myself, but I could play with my family. We could trade horses when that feature becomes a thing, which is a long time from now, I'm sure. But You know, the horses aren't going to age and die without you getting on. You'll be able to mix and match genes with breeds of, like, you know, the different breeds are going to come in realistic colors for that breed, and then you could breed on new colors with the other breeds. So, like, get a leopard Appaloosa marked an Arabian with the leopard Appaloosa markings from the people can make fun of me. I say Knupstrup. Sure, it's the Nabstrupper, but I like saying Knupstrup. Don't be mean to me. I only ever see these names written down. I'm not in horse spaces. I don't hear them said out loud. What was that? Did you see that in the background? Things like jumping around. That was a little weird. But anyways, all that to say, I want this game to be good. I want it to be accessible to me and my family and to as many people as possible. And yeah, it's this game has become very important to me recently. And I know it had a rough start and it's still kind of rough going. As far as, like, you know, things are complicated, and I know some things have been out of their control as far as the release of early access. I said in the last video, I do think that they prioritized a few things incorrectly with not having a working game or working tech demo before they had a lot of fancy concept art. Because really the most important thing is functionality rather than how pretty something is. So it's been rough, but that doesn't mean that it won't eventually become a really good game. And they have great ideas. I do worry. I am worried about their technical abilities with this, because as far as I know, they still only have the one programmer. But we'll see. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to talk about was the camera controls, because that's something really, really important to me, because not to say that the current camera controls are going to keep me from playing. Like, I still play Ranch of Rivershine occasionally, even though the camera controls on that are nightmarish, especially when you're on foot. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Really horrible. But I still play it in small doses, because I do like it, and it's not the worst. I'm talking Ranch of Rivershine, it's not the worst. This isn't quite as bad as Ranch of Rivershine. I don't know, it's kind of equal. It's kind of equal. A little better now that they added the camera follow, so that I'm not having to... I know some people steer their horse with the mouse in Ranch of Rivershine. I can't do that. My wrist, my poor wrist. So having the camera follow feature does help with that, of me not having to constantly move the mouse. Now, I do like having the option of being able to move the mouse around so that I can change the view, but I don't like for that to be the only option. So they're definitely going in the right direction. I'm very happy with that. I hope they listen to my feedback, because I don't think about the camera, because I don't think that that's going to be a really hard thing to implement, and I know it shouldn't really be. I know that they probably don't think that that's a priority, but I think it would make a really big difference to the people that are playing it now, especially me. At least I'm the only one talking about it. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a very expensive game for what it is, so it would be nice if they could implement some things to make it just a little more playable for some people. But I am excited to see where it goes. They definitely have improved the functionality. Like I said, being in first person works way better than it used to, so that's nice. In one of the test builds, there was a lot of jitteriness, and they have fixed that for the release. So yeah, it's looking good, and Bandit is still as pretty as ever. He's named after my real life cockatiel. I don't usually like to name my digital animals after my real life animals, but like this isn't a horse that's gonna stay in the game, you know, this isn't gonna be my horse when I go to actually play the real game when this comes out. So yeah, I just wanted to have my boy with me because I love my bandit. He's a good boy and he says I love you. He does kisses and says I love you. He's a good boy. Not the horse, my real bird. I'm gonna go. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I am sorry for rambling so much. How long have I been recording? 45 minutes, that's not bad. That's the same length as the last one. Thank you for watching. I might record some chattering in Horse Isle soon. If y'all want to join me for some horse catching and rambling. I love horse catching in Horse Isle, so I might go for a ride in there. It's just right now that game is extremely depressing because my horses are all aging and dying and I need to cut out some projects and it is very sad. So once I'm able to play that again, I might do some recording. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Here's some of my more controversial horse game thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.